Hello everyone, this is Snipe Trading and I'll be going over my April monthly recap in this video. So in the month of April, it was definitely a slower month and I made a total of $4,789 in that trading month. So we'll be going over some of my stats and going over kind of my biggest winner and loser of that month. So let's get to it. So we're gonna go to trader view here where I import all my trades and log. So in the month of April, filtered here, you can see here's my cumulative curve. There was a period where did have trouble there, maybe mid-April or so. Had a nice ramp in the beginning of April and the last week of April. So that was going, but definitely some trouble in the middle of the month there, where I had, I think, one of my biggest red day there of $1,000 loss. And yep, so just some details, statistics on it. But before we go there, we can compare maybe last month versus this month. I'll change this to March. So March would be the previous month. All right, so on the left hand here would be April and the right would be month of March. So definitely a smaller gain from last month, or roughly 2,000 less. And win percentage, roughly the same, around 52%. I decreased a little bit there from March to April. Definitely my winning trade, average winning trade versus losing trade definitely was a lot worse. My average winning trade was a lot bigger last month of April, but I also had a bigger loss, which is not good. You want to at least keep this to a 2-to-1 ratio profit factor. So this is month of March, I had roughly a 1.89 to 1 profit factor, whereas I'm at only a 1.49 of month of April. Other statistic is my largest winner was on TENX. This was on April 9th. What was seen here was I think it was a long flag here, or it was right here. I took a reshort pop there and cover, so that was a decent little win. And then there was another flag breaking down here, and I took that short, and this was for another win on TENX, and I think that was for a total of $819 win as my biggest win of April. My biggest loss of April was $477 loss, and this was on XXII. And what was taken here was a little early signal of inverted cup and handle here for me. And then I had to take a cover stop there. And then again on this washout, I took some more shorts there, and before the inverted cup and handle could form, I took a cover loss there. So 2 losses there and a total of $477 loss on that trade for my biggest loser of April. So going back to our report and comparing the details here. So in terms of days of the week, feels like my biggest winning day is on Thursday and maybe Wednesday. Monday is usually a slower week because that's from coming into the weekend. And then Fridays are usually much slower because people are taking ready for the weekend, and usually that's a lower volume and a lot tougher. Performance of hour of the days, kind of throughout the days here. And this is all intraday trades. Duration. So this is kind of saying typically I'm out of the trade in less than 5 minutes if I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm typically in the trade for about 5 minutes to 2 hours potentially. So win-loss expectations. So if I unfilter this, you can see my current equity curve. If I filter it to just when I started trading again, 803. So here you can see I'm at a total of 40,000 on the last 6-7 months. Definitely as curve started to ramp up a little bit in the month of January and February, and kind of plateau here on the month of March and April due to the slow volume. May seems like it's starting to pick up, but I'm starting to have trouble my first week here. But hopefully I could get things corrected here, and maybe we can pick up some size. Other, let me refilter this to April. So other statistics here are max drawdown 1,200 days of times. We went over that. So the price of stocks, so it made the most below $5. So I need to trade, typically I trade below $20 is the stock range I trade. Volumes have to be very high, but this might be the volume number of shares I traded. So I typically trade around 3,000 or more shares. Instrument. So my top 20 stocks that I trade are maybe top 4 stocks are that I made money on as HOFV, TENX, OCGN, CLOV, SOS, VXRT, and then these are the ticker that I lost money on: XXII, FBIO, OGEN, BB, Rail. And I think normally these names I probably need to do some more stats, but I feel like generally these names over here almost look like they're higher institutional ownership, versus these are more like retailers. So let's see any other things. So win day versus loss days. So my win days is 76% this month, versus the month of March I was 90% winning days. Let me pull up the calendar. So this is the calendar of my winnings on April. So definitely more red days than my typical month from this year. So if I pull up this year, so you can see I have one red day in January, with a small loss in that January. And then February I also had one red day, and it was only a 681 red day. And then month of March I had 2 red days. And then month of April, pretty much piled in 5 red days here with a big red day of 1,242 there on April. So definitely a tougher month in the month of April, but still hanging on there by a thread. So in the month of May, it's starting off pretty rough already. Making this recap 1 week into May. So I'm already down on the week. I think it's my first red week. I would say, although this one is, I think this is a red week. So it might be my maybe my second red week this year. But we still have tomorrow, Friday, so we'll see how that plays out. But definitely a slower month in April. You can see that decline in the volume that was kind of dying in the market. But hopefully, month of April, I think the volume is picking back up. I just need to kind of keep my head in the game and make sure that I be a little bit more consistent so I can build and scale up more profitable. So that's my monthly recap. Nothing too much there. This year I am up roughly 30,000 on the year, 4 months in, with a I think this is a pretty decent profit factor. So profit factor of 2. So my winning trades are averaging twice as my losing trade. So that is my ultimate goal. So even though I'm only winning 54% of the time, if your average trade is much better than your losses, that's where your gains will show up. So just gotta remember to take your stops and just let stats play its role. If you have a good risk management, I was risking at least 2 to 1, 3 to 1 to your risk, and in the end, you'll eventually profit. Yeah, thank you everyone for sticking around and tuning in for my April recap. Ending the month $4,789 on a slow month. So I think it was a decent month, although it's a slow month. But hopefully I think May seems like the volume picked up, so hopefully it becomes better the next few weeks. All right, and thank you for everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye guys.